Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Here I just want to show you these Tesla bifilar pancake coils that I sell on eBay. They're pretty simple, but I just want to show you how to wire them. So when you get it, you've got your black and a red wire. Black and a red wire from the outside edge, and there's a black and a red wire on the inside edge as well. Now, the first thing you want to do is you want to create the center tap, which will be the electricity comes in, goes out, goes to the center, and comes back round out again. The center tap, what you do is you're going to join together the red wire from the outside to the black wire on the inside. So then you're left with a black wire on the out and a red wire on the inside. So you're joining together the black and the red wire. Now, because in the Joule Thief you normally put the positive of the battery into this point, the center tap is where the positive comes in, I like to use a larger wire connector, and I twist my ends together and I just pop it on the end. Make sure I'm unscrewed. Plop that on the end like that, so the two wires are joined together, but you still have an extra input for the positive of the battery. So I'll just show you that. So yeah, hello, good morning. So the two, you've got the red from the outside edge and the black from the inside edge joined together. That's going to be where the positive of the battery goes in, straight in, no problems. Okay, what else do we do? With the Joule Thief, obviously you need a transistor. Now I'm using a big 2N3055 just because they're useful for many other experiments, but you could use any kind of transistor, even maybe the classic 2N22222, any kind of transistor. Just make sure you know which pins are which. Good. So what we're left with, we have a wire coming from the middle still on the inside of this loop. There's a wire on the inside, that is going to your base. So I take another wire connector, put one end on there. Of course, once you've made it and you want to keep it as a permanent thing, whether it be for solar chargers, you can use like a solar panel on your battery, and then you can use a smaller battery to light a larger light. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be lighting a 12 volt LED, but we're going to be using a 3 volt vape battery. Let me just double check this battery's got some charge in it. But as with the Joule Thief, you can use AA batteries to light LEDs, like a 1.5 volt battery to a 3 volt LED. Well, here we're going to be doing a we're on 3.4 volt battery to a 12 volt LED. And just so you can see, there's my LED, there's my battery. Normally this battery will not light this LED because it's a 12 volt LED and I'm just using a 3 volt battery. So I connect them, nothing, literally nothing, just nothing going on. It's not going to happen, yeah? It's not going to light the LED, okay? Because the voltage just needs 12 volts and this is only putting out 3 volts, okay? But the greatness of the Joule Thief, what we're creating here, is we're going to be resonating it to create spikes of electricity that are much higher than 3 volts, and your eyes don't notice that it's actually flickering. It's good. Back to it anyway. Inside center tap, the inside wire that's left over, leave the center tap alone, it's there. The inside wire that's left over is going to be going to the base of your transistor, and I put a 1.5k resistor on that. 1.5k resistor on there, bam, and that goes to the base of your transistor. Work that out, whichever one is the base of your transistor. I know this with the 2N3055s. Okay, now we're left with an outer wire, black outer wire, still not got nothing going on. The outer wire connects to the collector of your transistor. So wherever your collector is, whichever leg it is, whichever what it is, the outer wire goes to collector. God. Try and keep this video below 10 minutes. Connected to the collector. Bingo bango. Bam. Easy peasy. Connected to the collector. So I've got my center tap left over. That's the positive. And I've got the emitter on the transistor, which is going to be the negative of the battery. So we'll get this wired up. So the positive goes into the center tap. Maybe don't use a black wire. The positive goes into the center tap. So I'll just connect, just for the sake of it, I've got these crocodile clips. Positive goes to the center tap. Bam, positive of battery to the center tap. And the emitter goes to the negative. There we go. Now it's wired up, nothing happening because there's no bulb in it yet. Check your transistor, always check your transistor, it's not getting too hot. Shouldn't be getting hot with 3 volts, but anyway. There's my LED. Now to light the LED, what you normally do is you connect one leg from the collector of the transistor and the other leg to the negative of the battery. And there we have it. So what we're seeing here is we're seeing how let me see if I can get it stuck in there without shorting anything out so I can talk and look at the same time. Good. So what we're seeing here is we're seeing how the battery's 3 volts is going into the coil. The transistor is switching on and off very quickly. When you switch off the electricity, the connection, there's a spike of electricity. We're collecting that spike from the collector of the transistor and putting it back into the battery. But that spike is higher than 3 volts. So there we have it. That's the simplest way to wire this up, to light a higher voltage battery. If you increase the power, if you increase it from 3 volts to 12 volts, then you can probably light a much bigger light. So that's one function of this circuit. Another function is the wireless electricity aspect of it. So I'm not sure if this will work yet, but we'll see. We have another coil, the same. What we're going to do is we're going to see if we can light this LED from this one, from this coil. I'm not sure what will happen. We'll see, shall we? Just see if it works straight up. It might not light the 12 volt, but it should light a 3 volt if I find one. Let's find out, shall we? Oh, beautiful. Beautiful, so it is. So just to explain what's happening here. So I've got another coil exactly the same as the first one. Pretty much the same. I've joined the center tap together. This time there's no energy going into the center tap. It's just the red inside wire going to the black outside wire. I'm left with a red outside and a black inside. Okay. Put it on top. Bam. No problems. Just get a couple of connectors. Actually, I'll do it with a proper connector so you can actually see the effect much better. Good. So I just get these connectors. Very useful from B&Q. I always run out, but I always end up buying more. I don't know where they all go. Let's get this connected up. So this will just show you the wireless transmission of the electricity through the air. I hope I got that in properly. No, I didn't. Bloody things. This will just show you the wireless transmission of the electricity. So like right now, that coil is transmitting electricity. And nothing's happening with it, it's just making that magnetic field. If you want to mess about with things, you can put a variable resistor on it and tune this light to the right resonance frequency of the coil itself. So see, let me just point you up a little bit more so we can see as we lift off the coil, the light goes off. So you can get an idea of where the magnetic field is of these two coils. So like I say, if you have two coils, you can mess around with transmission of electricity. If you only have one coil, you can still light the LED from the one coil by connecting the collector and the negative, which is what I do most of, because I'm making lights that can power. I'm lighting these tubes, big tube lights, or just normal house lights. I'm only going to use one coil to do that. But if I'm interested in the Wi-Fi aspect of the electricity, then I have two coils to do that. Anyway, this video is far too long, but I hope it explains something to some people. These coils are available on eBay. I'll send a link in the description. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Bye-bye.